Good all, welcome back to South Africa, and this is South African Prepper. Sorry for the haircut, it's been a bit of a rough day. So, I want to talk to you about taxes and taxation. And yes, different countries have different laws when it comes to taxation. So, unfortunately, I can only talk about South African tax situation. But I do believe that across the world it is more or less very similar, um, and we are all pretty much in the same situation. So, in South Africa, we have different forms of taxes, um, and later in the video we'll get to why they are taxing us. And this is the crucial part, why they are taxing us. So in South Africa, one of the most crucial taxations will be what they call VAT, or value added tax. So in South Africa that is 15%. So any and everything that you buy on the bottom of your slip, they'll give you the sale price plus then VAT of 15%, and then you'll get your grand total of what you need to pay. So you can claim VAT if you have a business, and then you have to pay VAT as well. So if you're a normal person that doesn't own a business and you go do your grocery shopping, you'll be paying 15% value added tax in South Africa, and then that goes to the government. And then a second uh, taxation method is in South Africa, which is quite a harsh one, is fuel. So petrol and diesel, they will tax you on that. And in South Africa, that is quite stiff. You can pay anything from about 3 rand to about 5 rand per liter in South Africa for taxes going towards the government. So, funnily enough, you cannot claim that back, so that goes into the coffers of the South African government. And then income tax. So, in South Africa, you've got different brackets. So, depending on how much income you have, you will have to pay income tax on that money. And then property gain tax, or property profit tax. So, if you have a property that you are selling and you actually make a profit, you have to then pay tax on that. So let me create a scenario. You've saved your whole life, you buy a house. Let's say for whatever reason you decide to sell the house. Maybe the kids have moved out, you want to get a smaller place, and you sell the place and make a profit. You have to actually pay tax on the money that you've already paid tax on, which is your income. So, why are we so heavily taxed? Now, if in a country, now unfortunately, I'm using South Africa as an example because that's my frame of reference. Um, if you pay taxes, it is an agreement between yourself, my person, whoever I am, and whoever you are. It's an agreement between yourself and the government or the state that they will then in return provide you with certain services. Okay, so it is an unspoken contract that they will provide you with policing, they will provide you with, in South Africa, education, although a lot of South Africans do pay for their own schooling. Even if it's a government school, we still pay for our children to go to school. Healthcare, all right. So in certain countries, and they're trying to implement this in South Africa as well, is that you pay for, you are getting tax for medical services. Now, luckily in South Africa, it's going to happen very soon because they're trying to push through the NHI. Very similar to Britain and America, where you are taxed, and you pay for what's the word, not a global, Uh, Everybody pays towards a medical fund, and then you can go to your government hospital and you'll get treated. Now, this has not happened in South Africa yet. They're trying to push for it because in South Africa, if you want decent medical help, you have to pay for it yourself via a monthly installment towards a private company, and then they service certain hospitals and certain doctors. So that's also a form of taxation. So the contract between yourself and the government is that I pay taxes and then you perform certain duties. Okay, so in South Africa, another form of tax is water and sanitation. So you pay for your water, you pay for your sanitation. So when you flush your toilet, your city water goes and it gets treated and reused. And including in that is then your refuse, so all of your rubbish from your home. So that's also a form of taxation. So it's a transaction between yourself and the government. I pay tax, you deliver a service. Unfortunately, it seems like this contract has been broken in South Africa for many, many years. And that includes things like roads, infrastructure, the drains running in the streets, the cleanliness of your neighborhood, and things like that. That is the contract you have between yourself and the government. And unfortunately, in South Africa's case, the government is not actually keeping to the contract. So, and they've been doing it for many, many years. So the question that we should be asking ourselves is, the taxes that we are paying, are they being used correctly? In South Africa's sense, it's not. It's not being used correctly. It's being stolen, squandered, misused. They've got all sorts of funny terms and names for money being just stolen, looted, wasted, and sometimes not even used. So the contract between the state and the people in South Africa has actually expired long time ago. And if you are a South African, you will know that SARS, South African Revenue Service, will always be on your case to make sure that you pay your taxes. But they are not accountable for delivering the service. So I'll tell you a personal story. Recently we disbanded all of our businesses and bloody. And we ended up owning, we owed SARS in South African terms 750 Rand. Okay. After we've settled everything, after all of the business has been closed, and they are now chasing us for 750 Rand. And I said to the person that phoned me from the South African Revenue Service that you have delivered no services to me. Where I'm currently staying, you are delivering no services. So if you want your money, you'll have to sue me, because really, I cannot see why I should be paying you, because you have cancelled the contract between myself and the government a long time ago when you stopped making sure that the police service work and our people are safe, making sure that the roads do not have potholes, making sure that the roads are clean, making sure that we have clean drinkable water, which in a lot of South African cities is a major big problem, making sure that the rivers are clean, making sure that the education system and the hospitals are actually working, and none of them are working in South Africa. If you're looking for any service, you always go to the private sector, and you have to pay literally double to get what you want, a good quality service. You have to pay double because you're being taxed for a service, and then you have to go look for a private service and you have to pay again for the same service. Taxation is a form of slavery. In actual fact, they are taxing us so hard that a lot of people just, income tax in South Africa, anything from 20 to 40%. of your income is being taken automatically if you work for somebody. If you are employed, you get your salary slip, they automatically deduct the tax, and the company pays the tax over to the South African Revenue Service. You've got no say towards it, you cannot negotiate it, you must just pay your hard-earned money over. And to be very honest with you, they are not delivering the services. And the contract between the citizens of my country and the government has expired a long time ago. I do not understand why people need to refuse. And I'm not saying we need to do a tax revolt, but we need to think about where our money is going. Is it actually going towards looking after the country and the infrastructure? In this case, it is not. South African Prepper, God bless.